Hello, literates. I'm brittwriterly, and welcome back to my rebellious reading report. We're gonna hop right in. Moving into book 3, we find out that Elliot left for a year. He went to Spain. He asked Sarah to stop calling him, stop texting him, stop showing up at his apartment unannounced like she used to when they were just friends and she didn't know how he felt about her. He was like, I need you to stop acting like what happened between us didn't happen. And I need you to stop overcompensating for the fact that you're happy with Adam and try to make me happy with other people. Aggressively be normal with how we work. Like, stop it all. It just reminds me of what is and what isn't. Just please stop. She respects that. She gives him space. He goes to Spain. Now he's back and he's like, he realized in Spain that, like, you know, I'm here having these experiences trying to get over Sarah, but the people that I would really rather be here with are Oz and Rachel and Tamara and even Sarah, because she's still his best friend, even though, like, there's some discomfort around her emotionally. But he's like, my people are not here. My grandmother is not here. My mother is not here. Like, I need to go home. And he feels like I've wasted a bunch of time in my life grieving instead of just throwing myself into the moving on process. A year is too long. My life has passed by. I need to get myself back together. And so that's where Elliot is when we get to the third book in the series, which is called On a Night Like Tonight. And that book is also 3.5 hours. And I will, for the sake of time, once again, read you the summary and then give you my thoughts. So, after a broken engagement, Cher, so remember the friend group keeps growing based on the couples. So, the main friend group by the top of book 3 is Rachel, Oz, Tamara, Elliot, Sarah, and Adam. So now they're a group of 6. After a broken engagement, Cher decides to leave heartbreak behind by signing up for the holiday house swap. For the next few weeks, she'll ditch sunny California to spend her first Hanukkah in New York City, a time of snow-covered sidewalks, festive store windows, hot cocoa, and cute neighbors. As Cher is moving into her temporary new apartment, Elliot is moving his ex's belongings out, Sarah's. And he soon finds himself offering to play tour guide. He's nursing a broken heart too, and spending time showing the beautiful traveler around is exactly what he needs. There's nothing more magical than jaunting around the wintry city together with no expectations, until he starts hoping for more. With the holiday of lights and the sparks of attraction seeing their hearts aglow, will they find a way to bridge the distance? And when the past comes calling, will their first season together be their last? So this is another 3.5 hour book. I really think I'm into those. And I think I'm going to try to read a whole bunch during December and just give y'all a bunch of reading recs for cute, short, closed door romances for the season. So we're starting off strong. So this series, get into it. It is an Audible original, and most of them probably will be because Audible keeps suggesting them to me. So I'm just letting you know. Sorry. So that's the thing. Now the couple we have are Elliot and Cher. I'm really, really glad to see Elliot get someone. And let me tell you what I really like. Because here, love triangles tick me off. I hate love triangles. 58% of them, I feel like. Probably more like 90%. I'm just too tired right now to make a real statistical decision, but it's probably closer to 98 more than 58. I hate most triangles because I don't like how the other person gets treated. I don't care if you like 2 dudes. That's fine. Me, myself, my heart ain't built that way, but I don't care if yours is. That's fine. Love triangles are interesting if nothing else, so go for it. But like I sort of alluded to with Sarah and Adam and Elliot, I don't like how sometimes, though, the person who likes the 2 different people doesn't steward that well. They treat one guy or one girl really well, and the other one, like yesterday's Chinese takeout that got left out in the microwave accidentally because you forgot to take it out the microwave and put it in the refrigerator. I don't like that. I don't like that, especially when you already had a relationship with this. When the love triangle is a main character, their bestie, and then a new person, and you like the new person, but the bestie's been liking you, you don't owe them attraction, but you do owe them kindness. Basic human kindness, because you have a relationship with them. And I don't like when that gets trampled because you're so into this other person. And especially if you just met that person, what you're into is their attraction. So you're leading with your lust, and because of that you're willing to emotionally screw over this other person. I hate that model of love triangles, and it's way too prevalent. What I like is that Sarah does not do that. She's very, very conscious of Elliot. Do I think she had to flaunt Adam in front of Elliot? No, but she also wasn't trying to flaunt him. She just wanted to rip the band-aid off because she was like, Elliot's important to me. Elliot's going to be around. And she kind of felt, not kind of, she also did it because she felt this fidelity to Elliot, not to hide it from him and make the whole thing more awkward, but to put Adam right in front of him and let Elliot address it. And that's what happened, and I can be mad at that. So with this, with Elliot and Cher, I like seeing him be able to be with someone, and I was really sort of like, how is Sarah gonna act? And it wasn't bad, because I've seen love triangles where when the other guy moves on and gets someone, the girl gets jealous, and now she's popping up and being super helpful and super cheery and super present when you chose someone else. But now it's just like, so you just want both of them. You can't even be pleased being happy with your person, and now you got to be in my business also. What's that about? Sarah's not like that. She really, honestly, she was kind of annoying to me and to Elliot, popping up and being like, ooh, Cher, girl, you cute. Oh, y'all look so good together. Oh, when you know Ellie does this, that, and the third, blah. Like, it's kind of over the top. And he tells her, like, can you knock it off? Please stop. I don't need your help. But it's not just Sarah who does that. It's also, like, Adam does it. Like Elliot and Adam are friends by the time. It's been a year since Adam and Sarah have been together. Him and Elliot are cool. Like, they can have real conversations. Adam's in the friend group. All is forgiven. They're healthy, mature adults. I love it. Adam also is like, Elliot, you know, you deserve to be with someone who likes you, who cares about you, and this girl is, like, literally perfect for you. Their banter is also different from Adam and Sarah's or Rachel and Oz's. Their banter is very, like, dry, witty humor, which fits because Elliot is dry and witty, but Cher is like her name, like a ray of sun, like a sunbeam. So his humor is like dry and witty, but he's also in this say yes to everything mode, so he can like move forward in his healing. So yes, his baseline is dry and witty humor, but he also absorbs her like excitement. And I love that. I love seeing one person in the couple not elevate, but like bring something new to the other. Not in a way that changes them for the worse, but in a way that shows them there are other ways to be that can be really exciting and really good for your soul. So I like seeing Elliot absorb Cher's light and reflect it back onto her, because she's coming off of her fiance breaking off their engagement because he's not ready to get married, and it's all happening so fast. They were dating for doggone 5 years. Please, flag on the play to delay a game. So she's healing from that. She wants to be her bright, happy self. She pours light into Elliot, and when she's down, he pours it back into her. And I just love that. I love this. I think is the most mature group of adult friends in romance I have ever seen. I recommend it off of that alone. I love how these friends talk to each other. I love how they talk to new flames, to old flames. I just love it. They're thoughtful, they're mature. It's not unrealistically so, because you're in their head. You're hearing all of the immature or petty or fearful things they're thinking, but they make the decision to end up in the right place. How they get there, yeah, it's realistically clumsy. It is. So I'm not saying like, oh, they're perfect little snow angels. They're not. But they're realistically mature in a way that gives me hope. I just really love it. I would have suggested it off of that alone. So, Cher and Elliot, fake dating trope. I didn't do the tropes for any of these books. There's a forced proximity trope in 8 Winter Nights. There's a fake dating trope in Bright Winter Lights, and there's a fake dating trope in On a Night Like This. And and sort of forced proximity. They're not in the same apartment, but she does move in across the hall, so they see each other often because of that. So I just love that all the couples are distinct. I love that Cher and Elliot have this, like, we're going to be happy. We are going to pursue our joy together. I'm going to help you be joyful. I'm going to tell you how I'm in process of pursuing my joy, and you are part of that. You're part of my joy process. I saying yes to you and going around the city and taking pictures and laughing with you is part of my joy process, Cher. And I want to be part of your process to whatever extent you're available and I'm available. Let's do it. Loved it. Love it. She's just happy. That's kind of what their banter is her just being happy and so willing to laugh, and him being like, this is okay. This is good. And then just learning appreciation for each other. This is the first couple we have in the series where they didn't know each other before, so they are really truly learning, not relearning each other. And the excitement of that, as the reader, the excitement is really fresh. It's not like, oh, I'm learning what their dynamic was and what it is now. It's, oh, they're building a dynamic, and it is pouring light into each other and reflecting light back to each other. It's being honest. Like, their banter is very honest. And I think if I could describe their banter in one word, it would be just like excitement. They're just going around the city, having adventure, and being very excited to be having the experience. And that's really kind of what it is. That's not really banter, but that's just like the dynamic of their relationship is excitement. Excitement, newness, new stages, adventure. That's what their sort of like chemistry is built around. And then as they go, Elliot realizes, snap, I'm really over Sarah, because I don't mind texting Sarah real quick. He hasn't texted Sarah first in a year since he asked her to stop texting him. Now she calls him regularly but not frequently. Like, she calls him to sort of test the waters regularly. He answers like every other or every third phone call, and the rest he goes to voicemail. He lets go to voicemail. He texts her without even thinking and asks her to bring over some drink for Cher. And when he does that, he's like, I'm over her. I'm over Sarah. Because I don't mind talking to her for Cher. So it's good to see Elliot realize he's over her, but not do it in a way that's rude to Sarah. Just do it in a way that's like, yeah, it's fine. I told you I needed time before we came back together, and the time has been spent, and I'm fine now. My energy and my attention is for Cher. And so the tension in the novel or the novella is Cher gonna go back to California after the apartment swap is over? Spoiler alert, she doesn't, but they take it close to the wire, where I'm just like, for a second, I wasn't sure if Elliot was going to be the one to go back. Because throughout, for a long time, they're both like, she's like, I would never leave California. And he's like, I would never leave New York. So they just sort of sit with the fact that we're having a really, really good time with this person who I think could absolutely be my person. But we're both pretty fixed in where we live. And so this is going to be a timed relationship, essentially, which is part of what makes their excitement even higher, because they're living very, very much in the moment. And then by the end, they're like, you know what am I doing all this for if I'm not going to take advantage of the next love that comes around and do it right? Do it joyfully, do it fully, do it without reservation, without hesitation, or without insecurity. And you're that person, I'm gonna do it. So they move towards each other at the end of the novella. I'm not going to tell you how they do it, but I am going to tell you it's very cute. And I will say that it upset yet again another romance trope of the ex comes back into the picture, and the person, even though they spent all the entire story healing from them, falls back into it with them, and that person has to disappoint them or hurt their feelings before they end up back with the person that they were first with, or the person that they were like have been spending the novel getting to know. Cher didn't do that. She had the opportunity to do that, and had she needed, oh boy, whatever her fiance's name is, had she needed him to hurt her feelings first, I would have thought a lot less of her, because Elliot's already been the second choice for Sarah. And he's very cognizant of that, and he didn't want to do it again. And he already had made up in his mind that he wasn't going to allow her to choose him at all if she went back to old boy. And I was like, slow clap. I love to see emotional depth in a man. Women are not the only ones who get insecure about in what order we get chosen. Men care about that too. People care about that. And for him to set a boundary to say, not to punish her, but to protect and value and show value to myself. She go back to that dude who she's already told me did her dirt. She goes back to him just because he showed up with some flowers. I will wish her well. We will be friends. We will only be friends. I am not going to wipe someone else's, I'm not going to wipe another friend's tears and convince them to choose someone who is not me, because he did that for Sarah and Bright Winter Lights. And he was like, and I did it, and I'm not sad that I did it, but I'm not going to do that again because my feelings matter too, and it makes my healing harder to have to send you off to someone who's not me after I've put it online to tell you how I feel. I'm not going to do that with Cher. And I was like, Elliot, wow, I love this. We really only get to see him as Sarah's like roommate in book 1 and as Sarah's spurned bestie in book 2. But in book 3, we really get to see Elliot is thoughtful. Elliot is intentionally and thoughtfully kind. Elliot is mature, and Elliot takes accountability for his own process. He took his year and he was like, that was too long. Now I need to redirect that energy to move forward how I should have. I wiped Sarah's tears when she cried into my chest over Adam. I'm not sad that I did that for Sarah. I care about her. I will not do that with Cher because of how it made me feel, though. It was just such a mature, just a seasoned thought processing. It just was. And it wasn't like, it was a little bit of like hindsight is 2020 with like with Sarah, but it was also like he didn't wait for Cher to come back and tell him what her decision was, and then he's like, okay, well, here's how I'm gonna deal with that. When she left to go meet the fiance for dinner, he was like, here's how I'm going to carry myself if she comes back here and says that she's gonna choose him. I liked that. I like proactive, mindful setting of boundaries, and I got that with Elliot. And Cher, I mean, she's fine. I like Elliot more than Cher, but I've had more time with Elliot, and I think that Cher is perfectly fine, completely lovable. Like I said, she is a sunbeam who is determined to be a sunbeam, and she shines that light on Elliot, and he needed that, and so I love it, because he's been in a bad mood for 3 years, his words. So she brightened that up and helped him be in that positive say yes to everything mode instead of this grudging say yes to everything and eventually you won't hate everything. She helped him do that from a really, really positive place. And she, spoiler alert, if you're not going to read them, you're just going to listen to me do my recaps, continue on. When she goes to meet with the ex, she had no intention of going back with him. He offered her her job back because he is the son of the company that she worked for. So she works in like toy manufacturing, toy development. She's really good at her job. She loves developing new toys, playing with toys to see what works. She loves her job. She's really good at it. He is the son of the company owner. They were together for 5 years. When he broke up with her, they fired her. That's also why she is able to like come to New York during prime toy season, i.e. the holidays, because they gave her a very healthy severance, because they recognize firing a worker because your son dumped her is a lawsuit waiting to happen. She gonna take all your company. So they were like, take this huge severance and we wish you well. And she took it because she was like, I am about to box you for it. I'm well known in the industry. I'm good at my job. I'll have a job like that. So I'm not pressed about it. Fine. He comes back near the end, like near the third act, and essentially is like, I miss you. I want to be friends. I got my parents to offer you your job back. And so again, the tension throughout the novella is, would you think of moving to New York, Cher? Well, Elliot, would you think of moving to California? So after they have this really, really great day with, again, their fake their fake engagement. Not even a fake relationship, fake engagement. Sarah and Adam were just faking being boyfriend and girlfriend. Cher and Elliot are faking being full on engaged. And they had just gone through, Oz and Rachel are getting married. They're engaged. Their wedding is coming up. They get snowed in. We found out later, like, they weren't snowed in that bad. They did this to give Elliot and Cher a chance to, like, do romantic things together. So they're like, oh, we're snowed in at this conference that Rachel went to with Oz, and can you do our cake tasting for us? Can you pick up my wedding dress? Can you pick up the flowers and make sure that they look right? So they're going to do all these romantic things in proxy for Oz and Rachel. These friends, they love romantic ploys, and you know what? I'm fine with it. It's very entertaining watching them scheme on behalf of each other's happiness. I'm cool with it. It's cute. So they just, like, Elliot and Cher have just come back from picking up the rings. They have that, and so they're feeling very in a love cloud, even though that it's not for their wedding. Everyone that sees them thinks that it is, and they're living in it, saying yes to everything. They're like, this is fun, this is fine. They both know at that point, I really like this person. We're going to be in the moment. And then the moment is burst by her past showing up and him offering her, you can come back to work. So now decisions are nigh. And she gives him the paperwork back. Like, he says, like, sign this contract and you can get your job back. She signs it. Thank you, next. I love that. I absolutely love that. She had no intention of going back to him. When she was about to go give him that paperwork, she heard him talking much crap about her. But Elliot thought that she was going there to say yes to him, and he still went and took her the contract. And he was like, I'm not going to hold her while she cries, but I'm not going to impede her from making this decision. So he takes her the contracts. He saw that it was signed through the envelope and thinks that she's going to go. And he's like, do whatever you want to do. And she opens it and, like, shows it to him. And she's like, absolutely not. I hate that he said all those things about me. I realized that I've wasted 5 years of my life with this trash human being. But I was never going back to him. And then they both, like, he basically says, like, one of the reasons he told her that he would never move out of New York is because he has an elderly grandmother. And he was like, I called my Nana and told her about you, and she told me that she would buy my plane ticket and that I just should come back and visit her. But by no means should I waste any more time putting off happiness for anything. I will move to California for you. And she was like, I'll move here for you. And I know this is another book waiting to happen. The guy that she swapped apartments with texted her in that moment and was like, can we make the apartment swap permanent? I met someone. And she responds back, yes, we can. Me too. And I'm like, what happened with this dude? We only know that his name is Marcus and that he's super gloomy and that his apartment was, like, very bare. And Elliot's friend group had to come and, like, Hanukkah up her apartment so that it was less dreary. But I'm like, who did dreary old Marcus meet in sunny California? I wonder. That sounds like a spinoff from the world of Winter Nights waiting to happen, and I would read that book. I don't know Marcus, but I'd read it. So that is where we are with the Winter Nights series now. And in closing, if you've made it this far, you're a rock star. I may break this up into yet another. I may go ahead and make this 3 videos, and if I did, that's fine. But that's the end of the Winter Nights series. For now, where we are is 3 of the 4 friend groups are booed up now, and Tam is the only one that's not. What I like about it is, even in the midst of Elliot's happiness, he's really concerned about her. And not concerned like, I think she might hurt herself or that she's depressed. Like, he doesn't think that. But he's just like, are you okay? Like, you seem like you are taking as much care of yourself as you usually do, which is top tier gold standard care. But 1, is that true? And 2, like, are you okay being alone? Like, they don't really have that conversation flat out, but she says some things that sort of are like, yeah, I'm ready for my person. I thought it would work with you. And Oz did say something in book 1 about, like, when Rachel was communicating a memory of them all being out at karaoke, and she was, again, she's writing these letters right from Oz's POV, and so she's like talking about how Oz was looking at Tamara, and Oz was like, I wasn't actually looking at Tamara, I was looking at Rachel during that time, and when I did look at Tamara, she had her arms around Elliot, and I remember thinking, why her arms around him and not around me? And so Tam says, either in book 2 or in book 3, yeah, I thought that I liked Elliot, but we would never work out because we were both two. And I don't remember what she said that they were both two that make them incompatible. Maybe that they were both too realistic. I don't know. But knowing that she's thought about her and Elliot, to me, signals that she's thinking expansively and seriously about who she wants to be with. And being very realistic, like, I could fall in love with Ellie. I do love Ellie. Ellie being Elliot, that's their nickname for him. I do love Ellie, but I don't think that we're compatible like that. And so seeing her think about, like, her options and seeing that she's, like, sort of stricken through all the potentials, it's just like, who's gonna be enough for? I feel like that's gonna be a huge book. And not huge in, like, quantity necessarily, because she's so ready for love. I don't see how that would be a long book at all. That book could be an hour long, honestly, because she's ready for it. And she's not the type to chase a guy, so I don't see her falling for a guy that doesn't like her and then his resistance making the book long. I don't see that. So I'm just like, what is... I just mean huge in that I think by this point, because we've been through the series and Tam has been there rooting for everyone, every one of the original friend group has had a moment where they stop and look at her and check in, like, I know you're asking about me, but now I'm asking about you. Are you okay? Like, things are changing. First there was one of us that were booed up. Now you're helping another of us get booed up. How do you feel about this? And there is a moment in book 3 where they do Thieving Elvis again, which is their version of Secret Santa, and she makes the pairs, and she pairs all the couples together, and they look up and they're like, because it's an odd number, right? It's Oz and Rachel, Sarah and Adam, Cher and Elliot. This is before they have really, like, sealed the couple deal, but this is how the entire friend group is, like, scheming on their behalf. And they all look up and they're like, what about you? Who's your Thieving Elvis? And she's like, oh no. And then she pulls out this huge, extravagant, over the dollar amount limit gift for herself. It's huge and it was clearly expensive, and she was like, I guess I'll have to gift myself. And they all just, like, bust out laughing, and she makes this big joke of it, but Elliot still, like, checks in with her, like, over the laughter and is like, ha 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 ha. Are you okay with that? That you don't have a person? Are you okay playing Cupid when we all know by now that you want your person? And so I'm really excited for book 4. And I really hope it comes out this year, but I don't know, because at least one of these books came out this year. Maybe even all 3 of them. No. Well, maybe. Let me see. One on a Night Like Tonight definitely came out this year. I don't really... Oh, yes. Came out in November of this year. Bright Winter Lights, which is the second one, came out December of last year. So I don't know if we're going to get another book this Christmas season, this Hanukkah season. And then 8 Winter Nights, which of course is the first one, came out in November 24th, 2020. I'm so sad I read these books entirely too fast. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh gosh, that just bummed me out. That just bummed me the heck out. So essentially they come out every November. 2020, 2021, 2020, no, 2020, 2022, 2023. I really hope I don't have to wait till 2025 to get Tam's story. I really hope. But anyway, that is the Winter Night series. I absolutely recommend it to you. I think it is, like I said, I think it is my favorite short seasonal adult romance. Closed Door. I don't know how people rank the steaminess, but there's pretty little profanity. And I should have said this first, but if you made it this far, here's your prize. There's pretty little profanity. There's no sex at all. Closed door, otherwise like there's no sex. But there are some steamy kisses. Not a lot of them. There's like 2 in Sarah and Adam's story, and I don't remember if there's 1 in book 3, and maybe there's 1 in book 1. Like it's super sweet romances, pretty wholesome. So I recommend 8 Winter Nights. Read it this holiday season. It's a really quick read if you have Audible. And I really hope to do more of these throughout the season. So stay tuned for more wholesome, faith-based romances that are holiday themed for the rest of December. And we'll see, if there are any New Year's themed wholesome reads that I really, really love. But so far, 8 Winter Nights is my favorite. The next one that I plan on reading is something about a gingerbread inn. So we'll see how quick I get through that. I kind of wanted to wait to read it until I gave this review, because I was like, I'm going to start forgetting things about this series if I keep reading too far in. But yeah, the next one I'm going to read is Christmas at the Gingerbread Inn, and it's by Michelle Stimpson. I really, really like her Christian romance. It's not heavy-handed, but it is absolutely wholesome and also real, because I have read one of her books that had a sex scene in it, but it was closed door. And it was just honest, because at that point, the protagonist wasn't really rocking with God. So I like when we portray people who are not Christians or who are going through a trial of faith. Like, it is honest that when you're not in a close relationship with God, you're going to do whatever you want to do. And then when you come back, your lifestyle changes. I like seeing an honest representation of that in Christian fiction. So Michelle Stimpson is at this point my favorite Christian fiction author. But I want to know more. Like, she's my favorite, but I don't really know that many of them in the Christian romance genre. So you're growing with me. I'm giving you recommendations as I find books. But I'm going to read another Michelle Stimpson next. And I may, if I can remember, do a review of the last Michelle Stimpson that I read, which was Christmas themed. And I think I read it last year. Maybe I'll reread it and do a little review for y'all. So if you have made it through this 3-part series, you're a real one. Let me know what you think on a night like tonight. And now that you've gone through all 3, if you have, let me know who is your favorite couple. Do you like Rachel and Oz best? Do you like Adam and Sarah best? Do you like Elliot and Cher best? Who do you like best? Which was your favorite book? And I would be really interested if your favorite couple and your favorite book are different. If you've read them, if you read them later, come back and comment what you think. Until then, you all have an amazing day. Yeah. Have an amazing day. Wherever, whenever. Bye!